What is up, guys? It's Fernando back with another video. Today we have my Raw recap and review for the June 15th episode. We had some good, some bad, some stuff that I can get behind, and some stuff that I'm pushing away. I don't really want to see anymore. But yeah, very, very meh show in totality, in my opinion. First, we have the Roman Reigns Bloodline segment here at the beginning of the show. It starts out with Roman, basically, they all come to the ring, and Roman's gassing up Jey Uso and Jimmy, telling them all these things, hyping them up, saying that people need to acknowledge them. And then Jey kind of interrupts him and says that no one has acknowledged Jacob yet. And they basically kind of get into it. And Fatu again reiterates himself and says that he only acknowledges Roman as his tribal chief. And Roman goes into this whole spiel about how Jacob was always on the outside, now he's on the inside. Now Jacob is fully welcomed into the bloodline, and he comes and grabs a brownish ulafala and puts it on Jacob. And then so that happens, which I just thought was kind of weird because Jacob's been in the bloodline now for 2 weeks. So that's what happens when you lose tribal combat. Anyways, they leave the ring, and a comedian, Eric Andre, is in the crowd, and he starts touching Jacob Fatu, his ulafala, and then Jacob Fatu attacks him for God knows why, for no fucking reason. And he grabs him, throws him in the ring, and about to go for a splash. Roman tells him not to, and then Roman sends a hit for Jacob Fatu to splash him and beat the shit out of him. This whole segment was so fucking dumb, pointless, meaningless, did absolutely nothing for the Bloodline and for Roman Reigns. I have no idea why WWE thought this was a good idea to start the show. I am lost, completely lost at what they're trying to get at here. From the thought process is, they took away Jacob Fatu's aura by making him Roman's little bitch, and that he just does whatever Roman says. They try and have some tension between the Fatu and the Usos, and now they're trying to make Jacob Fatu seem like that werewolf, that uncontrollable animal that he was before he had to acknowledge Roman Reigns. And it just doesn't work for me. It's so stupid. And the fact that we're just redoing the whole entire Bloodline thing, where they all just listen to Roman Reigns and bow down to him, it's just so dumb. I mean, and it just makes no sense. It does not intrigue me whatsoever. Like Roman Reigns, since he's come back, and this whole Bloodline thing, it's just boring. It's just the rinse and repeat over and over and over again, and that's what we got here. And the fact that they included a random comedian in this segment just rubbed me the wrong way and pissed me off for the majority of the show. And they even continue to do the Bloodline stuff throughout the show, and it really grinded my gears for the whole night. To start the show off, this was so stupid. WWE, you fucked up. You messed up here. I mean, this storyline, in my opinion, is just fucking lackluster. But then we get into the first match of the night. We have Io Sky versus Raquel Rodriguez in the Queen of the Ring tournament. It starts out really quick. These two put on a really good match. Io Sky comes out flying, and they're really building Raquel up to look like this big, strong women's superstar. She's Io's unable to take her down, but the match ends with Io Sky bouncing Raquel's head off the announce post, hitting a sunset powerbomb, and then her picking up the victory here with the over the moonsault. This match was really good. These two women cooked. It was probably my favorite match of the night. For quality of match, it was the best match of the night. But with Io Sky winning here, and she's going to advance to the finals in the Queen of the Ring tournament, again, I have zero problem with the choice of Io Sky winning here. It's good. Anytime we could get Io Sky a push for the main event scene, for a title, or to have more matches on TV, is always going to be a good thing. So I just got to give this match a thumbs up. These women killed it. And I'm thankful that we're going to get Io Sky at Night of Champions. Then we get to a bunch of backstage segments in a row and a bunch of vignettes. We have Liv Morgan. She comes in. She's talking to Roxanne about the match or whatever, and then she ends up finding Danhausen in the back and wants him to curse Obafemi. And she's even wearing a shirt. She kind of looks like she's trying to fucking seduce the dude. It was a funny little segment. And Danhausen said he needs monies. He needs a song about him. He needs to be in the video for her song. He's requiring all these things for him to curse Obafemi, and eventually he's just going rambling on and on and on, and Liv Morgan just walks out of the room. Funny interaction. This is something I didn't expect these two to just have an interaction here on Raw. Unexpected, but it was a funny little segment. You can never go wrong with a little bit of Danhausen. And then we get to a real interesting thing. We have Seth Rollins vignette, and he basically he's going on and on talking about the rivalry with Braun Breaker and challenges him to a steel cage at Night of Champions. Now, I'm glad about this because a steel cage means the end of a feud. That's what this match has to be, and they've even said that. The commentary, I believe it was Corey Graves, culminate here at Night of Champions in a steel cage, and I'm glad. I'm glad because this thing has went on long enough. Injuries really stopped this whole feud between the Vision and Seth Rollins, but I'm glad that they added a stipulation because they had two really good matches, back-to-back normal matches, and I was kind of like, I don't want to know. I didn't know if I really wanted to see it again. It didn't really have me hooked. But now that they've thrown a steel cage on it, I am willing to tune in to watch this match. It should be brutal. The two going to be locked inside the steel cage. So I'm glad for that, even though the steel cage kind of over the years has the aura of it has gone away. But it's a stipulation nonetheless. Then we get to another decent match. This is an okay match. We had Chad Gable versus Rusev here in a one-on-one match. And before the match, Chad Gable's talking about how he's basically going to go on this apology tour, apologizing to all the people he did wrong before he became a Grande Americana. But we go into the match, and it's a good match. Chad Gable has now been being portrayed as kind of like a Kurt Angle. He's just being portrayed as like a machine in the ring. He is an absolute monster. He was suplexing Rusev all over the place, doing ankle locks, getting real physical with them. The match eventually ends with Chad Gable hits an angle slam, hits the ankle lock, and it makes Rusev tap out. And then we get to Ethan Page is by Rusev's side. He attacks Chad Gable, and then we have Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio come to return the favor of saving Chad Gable here after the match. Overall, I'm glad what they're doing here with Chad Gable. They switched his theme, which was a bad decision. The theme just isn't catchy. From what I heard, it's hard to hear sometimes, but it kind of sounds a little bit goofy. So that knocked off a few points for Chad Gable here. But I just don't want WWE to fail and fumble what they have here with Chad Gable because he looks like a monster in the ring, and yeah, so that was good. But on the other side for Rusev, I mean, it's over. It's over. He's just gonna continue to take L after L after L, and it's just unfortunate. I was never a big Rusev fan. I don't see any hype behind him whatsoever. But with Chad Gable being here, getting this win, and potentially moving into the mid card scene, which is looking like he will be, I'm glad he was able to showcase what he had, showcase this new character that he has here, and hopefully he'll be featured on a weekly basis. Then we get a Roman backstage segment here with Fatu. He basically said he called an audible, and that Jacob Fatu does not have to listen to the Usos anymore, and that leads into an LA Knight promo, and he basically goes out and says more of what he did the past few weeks, saying that the Bloodline is an issue and that he thinks Solo is joining him, and that leads to Jimmy and Jey Uso coming out and basically telling him, nah, Solo ain't with us, he ain't with us, but LA Knight's been not believing him because Solo is what cost him the King of the Ring Fatal 4-Way on SmackDown on Friday. But they start arguing. Jay basically challenges LA Knight to a one-on-one match, 1v1 fair match, and LA Knight accepts. But if it's kind of sounding like if he loses, then he has to acknowledge that Jey Uso is better than him. So that leads to them getting into like a scuffle and Jimmy trying to break it up. But it inevitably leads to the Usos jumping LA Knight, but LA Knight eventually gets the upper hand with the steel chair, starts taking out the Usos, and here comes Jacob Fatu, and all three of them take out LA Knight. Now, this was another thing that just pissed me off. It's just the Bloodline all over again. Like I thought they were gonna leave Jacob out of this because Roman told him to stay out of it. Let the Usos handle it, and the Usos weren't able to handle it, so Jacob Fatu comes and beats him up. It's just rinse and repeat for LA Knight. As soon as I think they're starting to get something here, he just gets sent back and just gets his ass whooped over and over and over again. And it's just the Bloodline and Jacob Fatu being Roman's little bitch, and the Usos just continue to be jumping people left and right. That's all this Bloodline bullshit is, and and it's taking a toll, and it's starting to piss me off because that's what we're constantly getting throughout the whole entirety of the show. And obviously, it just makes LA Knight look bad, and he's gonna end up feuding with the Bloodline for fucking 5 months, and until he inevitably loses some match, and then he's gonna disappear off TV. This is just bad ball by WWE over and over and over again. Same shit. It just sucks, man. I hate seeing LA Knight in this position. And it's not going to lead to anything. Then we get to a match between Charlotte Flair and Roxanne Perez. This match was all right again. Nothing too crazy. Roxanne's playing the heelish role, but the main factor I think in this match was Roxanne was targeting Charlotte Flair's right hand, arm throughout the whole entire match and putting some real damage on it. But it ends with Liv distracting, Roxanne attempting to roll up Charlotte Flair, and then Alexa Bliss takes out Liv, runs around the ring, flips the roll up to Charlotte Flair, which Roxanne kicks out of, and then she goes for a pop rocks into a nasty counter where she's on the back of Charlotte Flair. She kind of flips her over, does a full 360, slams her, kind of like an Alabama slam onto the ground, and locks up a figure eight, and picks up the submission victory over Roxanne Perez. In this match, Roxanne put a beating on Charlotte's arm, and this is just basically telling the future that Liv Morgan's going to win the match on Friday Night SmackDown. Prior to the match, she said she's going to make sure that Charlotte does not go into Friday 100%, and that's what she did here. This is just soft launching a win for Liv Morgan. That's all this was. I'm 100% confident that Liv Morgan's going to pick up the victory on Friday Night SmackDown with the injury, probably some more shenanigans and all this and all that. But I'm not mad about it. If I can watch Liv Morgan on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every fucking day of the whole entire week, I don't care. I'll gladly watch Liv Morgan. And then we have a Javon interview in the ring with Jackie Redmond, and it's real short. He basically says he's going to put belt to ass to Jey Uso, which I loved. I love the confidence. I love the young OG dropping here, giving us a promo, and then he gets interrupted by, of all people, Logan Paul. And I was shocked when I heard his music because obviously he had his torn tricep, so we know he's not going to be able to wrestle. But he comes to the ring, and he wants Javon to join the Vision. He says, hell no. And then he's like, nah, we're not asking. We're telling you you're joining the Vision. And he gets into it with him and Austin Theory. And it leads to a match between Austin Theory and Javon Evans. Again, the match is going. It's okay. They're both kind of just hitting the moves. It was real physical. Some side of Javon I haven't really seen before. He was just being real physical and acting kind of a fool. Just kind of being an asshole to Logan Paul and Austin Theory, which I kind of liked. I really liked this little mean streak of Javon Evans. But anyways, the match ends with bullshit, in my opinion. We have Javon Evans going for an OG cutter, and he gets speared in midair by Braun Breaker. And so they go to jump Javon Evans, and the Street Profits come out to make the save on Javon Evans and take out Braun, Theory, and Logan Paul, who's injured on the outside. But the match, the crowd died out for this match, and the crowd was good all night. They were really loud for just a random United American crowd, Baltimore. They did a good job making noise for everyone, but they seemed to really die out for this match. They didn't see the match was kind of just thrown at them at the last minute, so they kind of hit them out of nowhere. Like I said, it was a good physical match, and they threw Theory into this, and if Theory would have lost this, man, it would have been bad, because the character he had developed over the past few weeks with him taking out Joe Hendry and Dawkins, if he took an L here, that would have hurt real bad, but he didn't end up taking the L here, so overall, I thought this was just kind of a really random segment, so I didn't get too much from it, just basically to get the Logan Paul return and Javon Evans in a match. Then we get to the main event. We have Obafemi versus Dirty Dom. There was two ways this match could go. There could be crazy amount of shenanigans, or Brock Lesnar return, all this, all that, and somehow Dirty Dom moves on to the finals in the King of the Ring tournament, or we get what we got. An absolute squash match, and that's what we got. It was funny. Dom plays in the old Weasley heel. He's running out of the ring, avoiding Obafemi, going through the ropes. Eventually, he gets caught. He gets his ass whooped. He even grabs the ring bell. He hits Obo with a low blow. JD McDonough's trying to provide as much distraction as possible, but it just leads to Oba destroying both of them, and obviously hits a fall from grace, pins Dominic Mysterio here. After all the scampering around from Dominic Mysterio, the match lasted probably about 3 minutes. which is kind of expected if this was the route they were going to go. But after the match, we have Obafemi cut a promo about how he's going to win King of the Ring. He doesn't care who's next in the finals, that he's going to take him on, and that he goes at Brock Lesnar yet again. Now, the real intrigue for me is if Obafemi wins the King of the Ring, he's obviously has to go on to face a champion at SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar is a champion. And if he doesn't win King of the Ring, that really hurts his stock, but he can go on to SummerSlam to face Brock Lesnar. But I'm really caught or a rock and a hard. I'm caught between the middle because I do not want a King of the Ring finals match to end with an interference or some shenanigans from Brock Lesnar to take out Obafemi and cost him the match. It's too foreseeable. Like WWE's got. That's really what they have to do. If Obafemi is going to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, they're going to have him lose in the finals to either Javon Evans or Jey Uso. And to do that, you have to have an interference from Brock Lesnar, which in the finals of the King of the Ring just hurts. And you can see it coming. So I'm really, really trying to figure out what WWE is going to do here. How they're going to either get Obafemi in a world title match or or to have him fight Brock Lesnar. So we'll see in the next couple of weeks. I'm real excited for the finals of the King of the Ring to see what goes on and how this shit is going to play out till SummerSlam. That was the one the big if for me that had this show, because if Dirty Dom won, the shenanigans going to be tonight, but obviously they got to figure it out. So overall, like I said, the show was very meh. I mean, I liked the Io Sky and Raquel Rodriguez match, the intrigue of the main event of Obafemi winning. Chad Gable looked good, but all the Bloodline stuff just didn't hit. It's just so repetitive, and it ruins all the characters of the Usos and Jacob Fatu. And it was taking LA Knight with it, and which sucks, man. So, like I said, overall, I just because of the Bloodline shit, I'm gonna give this show like a 5 out of 10. I did not enjoy it, whatsoever, and yeah, but maybe I'm just on a high from the UFC Freedom 250 that was last night. That was so fucking good. But we'll see what WWE does in the next coming weeks and at Night of Champions. So, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one.